go ahead and get in the bag. I want to forget I even read this book, and the best way to do that is to get it on up out of here. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing the long awaited, for me, video that is unhauling my book collection, some of the books from the book collection. Let's not get crazy here. And they are, most of them fit in this little Harry Potter bag. Some of them are obviously like spilling over the top, but yeah, these are books that some of them are just like old books that are literally collecting dust on my shelves. They've been here for years. I have never almost read these books. So that's one category of books that's in this bag. Another category of books that's in this bag are books that I did read that were pretty highly anticipated, but just disappointed me so much to the point that I'm like, go ahead and get out of my house type stuff. And then the next category is books that I started reading and just really weren't hitting, and I DNF them. I think most of my DNFs are in here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. But if you're new here and you haven't already subscribed and you like bookish content, you like cozy girl content, you like book hauls, you like shop my bookshelves, that's probably the thing that I do the most on my channel. If you like those styles of videos, if you like this style of video, definitely give it a thumbs up and or a hype, whichever you like, and consider subscribing before moving on. Other than that, let's get to the books that are getting out of my house this week. Okay, so, and this is in no order. I have The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. I am currently in my fantasy girly era, so I was kind of like, I don't know, maybe I do want to read this, but this might be a little, the word of the week for me is highbrow, and I don't think that I'm ready for N.K. Jemisin. And I feel like I've said this before in the past, like she is pretty sophisticated in her like fantasy writing, and not to say that the people that I read now are not sophisticated in their writing, but I just feel like I'm not there yet in my comprehension for fantasy to be able to get to this book. Also, I've seen this book in paperback and I kind of want that. If I am going to read the book, I want the paperback, so this is going to have to go regardless. Then I have The House on the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This was on the like chopping block. It was a maybe not, but as I got this bag out and I realized this wasn't it, I was like, go ahead and get in the bag, because again, I have never almost read this book. I don't have interest in what's in this book at this time. At one time, when the time that I purchased it, I did, but I'm just not really interested in reading that one. Next, the next couple I haven't read. This one is How to Fail at Flirting by Denise Williams. At this time, like I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it for you guys. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it for you guys. All Denise Williams writes in her romance books are interracial black women and white male romances, and that I don't like how I feel about that. I know how I feel about it, and I don't like how I feel about it. That's all I have to say. It don't sit with me. It doesn't sit with me as a black woman. Yeah, I don't want to read it anymore. Then I have The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. I talked about this one being on a chopping block because Steph from, I always forget her name, girl, Once Upon a Bookish Stuff, she recommended this book and I was like, ooh, let me get it. And then I realized that it's like a 3 or 4 book series, and the books end up being like twice as big as this one, and this is a big daddy, and I was like, girl, I'm not about to do that. So I am going to get rid of that one. Now this one I started reading in a reading vlog, you guys, in spooky season. This is The Grimoire Grammar School Parent Teacher Association, and this was like a cozy fantasy. It's kind of funny. It kind of gives Gilmore Girls for sure. Yeah, it definitely kind of gives Gilmore Girls when you think about, like, you know, you have like the working class family, and then like the kid is integrated into this like hoity-toity like private school, prep school type of deal, but just these are supernatural kids. So it gives that, but I just kind of, I got maybe like a third, probably this much into it, and I just kind of got bored with that. So that one is going to get unhauled. Then, girl, I have a reading vlog of me reading this one too. This is Tainted Liberties by L.R. Jackson. This is a 100% a rage bait book, and I really do not want this in my house. I read it. I finished it. It is not something. It's not something I would recommend. It's not something that I need to keep on my shelves. It's not something I'm about to reread. I don't want no parts of this book, man. I want to forget I even read this book, and the best way to do that is to get it on up out of here. So that is where that's going to go. Next, I have Ace of Spades. And you know what? I'm going to talk about the other book in here as well, Where Sleeping Girls Lie. I read Ace of Spades. I read the whole thing. This was not, it's dark academia. I don't know. Sure, it's diet dark academia. It has strong themes. I don't know. It didn't hit for me. Like unfortunately, I can't quite put my finger on it. I know I kind of can. I don't like the female main character. I am a reader who really needs the characters in the books to be strong characters for me, or characters that I can connect with, not relate to, but characters that like I can connect with in some way. And like she's so, and it's fine if she's unlikable. I've read several books where the characters are unlikable and it works, but in this one, like, it didn't. Like, she was very off-putting to like the male main character. Like, it's YA, so she was making YA decisions, and I know there's like, well, don't read YA if you don't like the YAs making YA decisions. It's like, I totally understand. I totally understand. So like, I'm not trying to take that away from it. But in that same conversation, right, like, it didn't sit with me, and I don't need to keep it. I think I rated it like 2 stars when I was rating books at the time. I don't do that anymore. It's okay. But the reason why I'm going to unhaul Where Sleeping Girls Lie, I started reading this book, I forgot, maybe a third of the way through, and I kind of lost interest. Also, the little bit of conflict that was happening, it just like jumped right into it without me even getting an opportunity to have buy-in for the situation that was going down. So I was like, I don't even care that this is happening, because who even is that? Like, well, not to say I don't care it was happening, but the mystery wasn't set up well enough for me. And then like everything that was happening in the background, I didn't care enough, essentially. So I ended up DNFing that one. This book, The Romantic Agenda by Claire Kahn, I did read this. I really like the cover. It's super cute. It's giving summertime. I think they are on like vacation. This is it has asexual representation, which I didn't know going into it. I've never read a book about asexual representation. It was very interesting. And I would definitely read more asexual representation books. If you have any recommendations, definitely leave them down in the comments, because I would read more. This one, it just didn't jive with me. Like, it was just very like fleeting, I guess. The romance seemed fleeting. It seemed fake, and it was like a fake dating trope. It was very awkward, socially awkward, and I think that might have been the intent, is to show that and depict that and to relate to people that, you know, have that type of personality. But it felt awkward to me. Not the asexuality, I want to be clear. It wasn't the asexuality. It was like the character's presentation of themselves in general. It was pretty socially awkward. And I don't want to like poop on that, because I know it's a humanity thing. I love that. I think that's beautiful. But just for a reader standpoint, I didn't find it comforting. I didn't find it cozy. I didn't give like cutesy summer vibes to me. It was just uncomfortable. Then I have Lore Olympus, volume 1. For some reason at the time, like, someone was like, oh my gosh, you gotta get the hardcovers. And I was like, hell yeah. Then I realized there's like 13 of these books, and they're mad this is the heaviest book I own, probably. Like, it's heavy as hell, and I'm like, that's why I haven't bought any more, because I don't want this heavy ass book. Like, I don't want 15 of these heavy freaking books. That's bananas. And also, like, I don't have the space. I don't want to carve out the space to own this series with 15, 18 crazy books or whatever. I do like Greek mythology. I do love a Hades Persephone retelling, which is what Lore Olympus is, or what it starts out to be anyway. So that's why I got it. But I do not want to own that at this time. Next, I have Colored Television by Danzy Senna. I had seen this book so many times in my bookstore. It's always on the table and everything. So I was like, okay, this is like really, really hot, right? I think it was because it has like racial commentary in it. The female main character is biracial. I think the author herself is also biracial, and it definitely, that is like the main focus of this. The reason why I started reading this and I DNF'd it, if I didn't already say. The reason why I'm unhauling this is because this is a literary fiction. This is a style of literary fiction that doesn't it doesn't flow for me. It was a very slow pace. I feel like slow paced literary fiction is really hard for me to get into the story, and I just could not get into it. I don't remember how far into this I got, but it was didn't grip me. So that one is going to get unhauled. Next, I have Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. This year, or 2025, was a year that I learned that I need a thriller to be like, I want to throw the book type of thriller. I want it to be like twists and turns all up and through, like consistently all up and through the book. And this read more like a mystery. I feel like I've been reading thrillers thinking that they're thrillers, and it turns out to be a mystery lately. Somebody who I think does thrillers really good is Tiffany D. Jackson. I like Their Vicious Games by Joelle Wellington. I know, like, obviously, you know, this is like the queen of thriller, but Frida McFadden, my favorite thriller writer of all time, is Gillian Flynn. Gone Girl, like, I love those types of thrillers. This one, it just felt like a mystery. It was interesting a little bit, but like, I hate reading so much of a book and then getting to like the climax and I'm like, are you serious? That was it. Like, that's how I felt. The writing style was cool, the story was cool, but just the title, the expectation of it thrilling me, I'm just like, it wasn't enough. It didn't go there enough for me. Next, I have Second Sunday by Michelle Andrea Bowen. This is an older book. I picked this up in a secondhand store. Well, not secondhand store. It's like an indie store, but it has like a lot of older books in it. I don't think they're secondhand. They're just older books. And apparently this is like book 2 or 3 in the series, and I didn't know that. This also had been like collecting cobwebs on my shelf. I think it ended up being like really dated. Let me see when this book was published. 2003. So I don't really have interest in reading it right now, so that one's going to go ahead and get unhauled. And I feel like if I do unhaul that, when I do unhaul that, I'm never going to think about that book again. Like, I don't think I'm going to have regret about that. Then I have Unlikely Neighbors by Renee Daniel Flagler. I did start reading this book. I got probably halfway through it, and it ended up, again, me not having buy-in, me not caring as much about the characters. It went from 0 to 100. It was very surface level. The romance, this is a romance, very surface level, very shallow, the romance. And from that perspective, I was like, I don't care. I don't know anything. And then when there's romances like that where the romance is shallow between the characters, and it's not even like, okay, but we know the male main character really well. Like, we've gotten, you know, his character development. We didn't get that yet for him. We didn't get that yet for her. So I don't know him. I don't know her. They're doing it all over the place. And I'm like, who are you? I don't care about this scene, this popping out. I don't know you. I didn't have buy-in. I lost interest, and I DNF'd. Next, I have The Light on Halsey Street by Vanessa Miller. I have other books by Vanessa Miller that I really do like or am interested in reading, but this one really didn't hit for me. This is a Christian fiction book. It is about two friends and throughout different phases of their life, and they're best friends, and then they kind of grow their separate ways, and we see pockets of their story throughout time, and the challenges that they face individually and together throughout this time. And it seemed like there was so much packed into this that, and like not much or any of it was like fleshed out well enough. It wasn't a Christian theme totally throughout. For example, like the filling station, I feel like the messages of that book was like seamlessly dispersed throughout the story. This one, I feel like the last like 50 pages, it just really goes from 0 to 100, and it was miraculous and not in a way that really sat with me. So if I'm going for a Christian fiction, I wouldn't like go out of my way to recommend this one. And then part of me is like, dang, do I want to keep it? Because I do like Vanessa Miller. Like, I gave her another chance, and I do like the way that she can do stories. I just don't really like this one. So I'm like, should I just keep this to, you know, beef up my Vanessa Miller collection, or just like get rid of it? Like, I'm never going to reread this. I'm never going to pick it up again. I'm never going to recommend this again. Like, it's just, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna keep with what I said and let it go. Next, I am kind of shocked by this, that I'm deciding to get rid of this, but only because I have had this book for years, and I, again, have never almost read it. So that is As Old as Time. This is a twisted tale by Liz Braswell. I love Beauty and the Beast. I was in Beauty and the Beast once upon a time, when they did the show at school. I was a plate. But I just don't see myself reading it. And I know there are a lot of books in the Twisted Tale, the Disney Twisted Tale series. They're by different authors and everything like that. There's different villains and you know, different spins, different characters. So when I got the book, I was like, okay, I'll slowly like build up the collection. But it's just a lot to collect, and I don't want to commit to that. So I am going to go ahead and unhaul this. And again, I've never almost read that book. Lastly, I feel like this one I could be persuaded to keep, and that is The Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Souljah. This is a pocketbook romance, that's not a romance, a pocketbook novel, urban fiction novel. This is like the urban fiction novel. This, and I want to say like Moth to a Flame, are like the urban fiction novels that anybody who's ever read a word of urban fiction, you have read one or two of those books. This is the actual copy that I read. Now, would I reread this? Yes, but I wanted to get like the newer copy, right? Because like the mass market paperback is like really not pleasant, but also like this kind of is like so nostalgic. This is vintage, okay? I created and I own a vintage item. This was $7.99, girl. It kind of like me holding it and smiling just tells me right there that I like don't need to let it go. But yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it. I probably one day I might get the bigger copy as well, like the more traditional copy. It does look the same, like the cover looks the same, it's just not mass market paperback. But yeah, this one was on the chopping block because I was like, I don't want this copy anymore, I want a nicer one. But this is eliciting feelings for me, like holding this. So I remember exactly where I was when I was reading it. I was at my grandma's house, like, and I don't have my grandma anymore, unfortunately. She passed away a couple of years ago. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it. So yeah, those are all the books that I will be unhauling. These are probably definitely going to be donated. There are tons of libraries around, and I know a lot of these are really popular in the library space, or in like the reader space. So I think they would be really happy to have those. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. The bag is now empty, ready to take my unhauls for 2026. I don't foresee myself unhauling a bunch because I know what I like to read now, and I have curated a fantastic collection, or at least I feel like I have. Like, unless they're like oldies on here that have been here for a year or two and I didn't vet them well enough, like I don't foresee myself unhauling a bunch. And this, I don't think this was a lot. I know some people who unhaul like dozens of books like a month, it seems, and I'm like, why are you buying the books if you're just like unhauling them? I don't know. But thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you like this style of video, or if you just have interest in the type of bookish content that I like to create, definitely give it a thumbs up and or a hype, whichever you like, and please consider subscribing before moving on. Other than that, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.